Hello, everyone. We're going to get started here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to attend today's press conference. We're really excited to announce Josh Nolan as our next wrestling coach. My name is Ashley Gower. I'm our Associate AD for Communications. I'm just going to run you through kind of the schedule for today, and then we'll get things going. So first, we're going to have Dr. Schnorr come up, and then Nate Davis, and then some comments from Josh Nolan. And after we get through that portion, I'll be coming around with a microphone if anyone has any questions that they would like to ask of Nate and or Josh, and we'll go from there. So thank you so much for coming today, and without further ado, Dr. Schnorr.
Well, thanks for being here today. It is certainly a great day for Northern and for Northern wrestling. But I always like to remind it's even a better day for the young men whose lives that Coach Nolan is going to shape in the years to come. Josh understands what it takes to excel. He himself is a college All-American. And then I got to catch up with him this morning, and he's still as a wrestler. I don't know if he's going to make it to that up to 75 bracket that's the goal. He's going to try to keep wrestling until he's 75 at least. What he brings that I'm excited about is extensive experience with recruiting and developing and motivating students. That's the critical part. How do you motivate them to success and to wrestle competitively? He has extensive experience, not only at NSU as an alum, as a student, as a national championship, but as a coach, and also at the Legends of Gold Training Academy. And he brings truly top-level skills in organization, recruiting, training, marketing, and fundraising, all of them critical to success today. His passion just from meeting him about wrestling and about this program and about this university will engage our campus, our community, alums, and donors. And then last, in the short time that I've known him as an alum and getting to know him more in the last couple of weeks, his values are Northern's values, and they will never change. We want to compete. We want to win. And we want to win not only on the mat, but in the classroom and life. That is what we have to keep focusing on Division II, that we compete in all three of those areas. So I want to congratulate Nate Davis and the Search Advisory Group because I am confident that Coach Nolan is the right person at the right time, in the right place to lead this program to national prominence. Welcome, Nate Davis. Congratulations.
Well, good morning, and thanks for being here. I've got some thank yous as well that I want to acknowledge some folks. So first, Dr. Schnorr, appreciate you being here today and the support of this process. And he said to me with this process and other things of like, this is your search. Go and do it and run it. I've got confidence in you. I got faith in you. And so anytime somebody says that, it gives you a great sense of confidence to go and do that. So I appreciate you even for that. I also want to recognize a few other individuals that were really helpful in this process. One's here in the room today, and others are not able to make it, but we're certainly a big part of this. But Zach Flockus, Jack Heeb, Don Frisco, and Josh Feiner, those guys were extremely helpful throughout the process of just making sure that we thought about this the right way, got the right guy. They took phone calls, made phone calls, and it was a quick process, but those guys were extremely helpful, and I appreciate them for that. Our admin team was tremendous. Again, this was a efficient process and a quick one, but those folks were really great about, I'm not even sure how many of them knew what was going on or how quickly it was moving, but it was business as usual, and it allowed me to give the energy and the attention to this to make sure we got it done correctly. So I appreciate them and their work. And of that team, Ashley Gower, I always try to recognize her because she puts these press conferences together. She does the public portion of this with the press release and the social media graphics and that kind of thing. She does a great job of getting that organized and communicated. And this one especially, I said to her one day, I said, hey, this is happening, get this done. And usually there's a little bit of lead time there. And she said, when do you need this? And I said, like tomorrow. and this was maybe like 4 o'clock the day before. So Ashley, thanks for your work there. So if we could just take a quick moment to acknowledge those folks. And before we go further and talk about Josh and the moment here, I do want to just take just a quick second to acknowledge Rocky Burkett and all he's done and all he's meant to Northern State Wrestling for more than a decade. So today is a day to celebrate Josh and the future of the Wolves and Wolves Wrestling. But I want to put that on pause just for a moment here to acknowledge Rocky. And I'm sure, Rocky, you're sitting there thinking, it's not about me. It's never been about me. But for right now, I'm going to make it about you. You know, this guy has just poured himself into the program and into the sport of wrestling in this community. And we've seen the benefits of that, not just at Northern, but in the Aberdeen community and beyond with the sport of wrestling and the youth programs. And so he's been outstanding and created a dynamic culture that young men want to be a part of. He's laid a foundation to keep the program moving forward for years to come. So before we kind of take this next step and officially pass the torch to Josh, I just want to take a second here and thank Rocky publicly for what he's done. So again, welcome and thanks for joining us today. The support of the Wolves is one of the many things that makes Northern and Aberdeen so special. I do want to also acknowledge student athletes that were on the team. I don't think any of them are here today. They may be tuning in online or will catch this later, but those guys were tremendous through the process. You know, as I've mentioned, it was a quick process, but when we kind of shared the news with them of Rocky stepping away from coaching and moving forward with Josh, we did that in one conversation. So it was a bit of like emotional whiplash. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, here we go. Here's this news of Rocky, but then here's some new news with Josh. And so those guys were awesome. And they gave, in a short amount of time, there was a wide range of emotions, but I appreciated them because they gave the appropriate kind of respect and admiration and emotions to each coach in that moment. I thought that was very mature of them. So wanted to acknowledge that today. Also want to give a special welcome to Josh's family, Teresa and their boys, Jordan, Jacoby, and Jack. So thanks for being here today. Today's a special day, one I'm excited about. It's as I've said a couple of times here, this was as quick and efficient of a process as I've maybe ever been a part of when it comes to a coaching search. And I think, you know, we were able to identify what we needed and how we needed to get there. And so we were able to do that in a quick fashion. So as we began the process and identifying the next head coach for Wolves Wrestling, we had some key qualities that we wanted in our next head coach. As I mentioned, talking about Rocky, the foundation, the culture, the positive momentum were there. And we want to ensure that we could hold on to that and carry that forward. We talked about this being a program job and the importance of that. We wanted someone who's familiar with Northern and understood the history of the program and the proud fan base. We wanted somebody that could be relentless in recruiting and could identify quality young men who are talented wrestlers to come in and put on the Wolves singlet and represent at the highest level. We needed somebody that could establish and maintain relationships with current student athletes, with recruits, with the network of coaches and other individuals that are the connection point to those recruits, and could establish and maintain relations with our local community that's so supportive and vital to the success of the program. You know, we needed somebody that could continue to take pride in how the program operates, not only in competition, but the academic pursuits of young men. And that's something that Josh talked about during his interview process of, we don't want to just be great in one aspect, we want to be great in all aspects. And so ultimately we wanted somebody that could help student athletes be successful when they leave Northern. I think Josh is that guy. So I mentioned this being a program job, and we have a couple of programs, I think, within Northern State, probably all of our programs, but there's a couple that are very in tune with this. We need somebody that could do the wrestling things, but also embrace the alums, engage our passionate fan base, and be a great ambassador for Northern in the community of Aberdeen and throughout the region for Northern State Wrestling. We have such a strong connection with that community and the youth programs, and Josh understands the value of those and what that means, and again, something that he talked about throughout the process. So I think Josh is certainly the guy that can do those things of connecting with people, building relationships, and maintaining that. And don't be misled now, this guy can coach too. you look at his numbers, and he's done this at various levels at different organizations and at the collegiate level and in clubs at academies and all that. But by my count, he's coached 37 All-Americans, multiple state champions, 12 NCAA national qualifiers, and one team to a 7th place finish at the NCAA championships. He's also a highly sought after and respected camp director and clinician across the country. And he's got a pretty good social media following in all those accounts as well. That, what that tells me is he can identify and develop talent at multiple levels in a lot of different ways. So, kind of my final comment here, I mentioned this earlier, it was a quick process, but we knew what we needed and we knew we didn't need to go very far to get it. From my first conversation with Josh, his passion for Northern and for this job was very evident. He started here as a GA 10 plus years ago, went out into the wrestling community and worked at different places and different levels and, had several stops along the way, including one time back here for a couple of seasons as an assistant coach. And ultimately all of that led him back to Aberdeen. And one of our conversations, he talked about his desire to get his family back here, to raise his kids here, to be part of this community and be part of this institution. And so he didn't say anywhere in South Dakota. He didn't say anywhere in the Midwest. He wanted to be in this community at Northern State. And so to me, that really stuck out. So when he came back here in December, he chose Northern. And I think it's really cool that in kind of a full circle moment here, we get to choose him right back and keep him here as a Wolf. So I have no doubt that we got the right guy to lead our program and to lead our young men into the next era of Wolves wrestling. And I'm very excited here to welcome and introduce our 9th head coach, Josh Nolan.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. Thank you everybody for being here. Goes without saying, I'm super excited to be in front of you guys. And first and foremost, just thanking my wife and my sons for going along on this journey with me. It's been a crazy ride from my first day on campus here back in 2012 to be standing here today. It hasn't really all hit me yet. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity, and I'm extremely excited. So, thank you, Nate Davis. Thank you, Rocky. Looking at the timeline of things, just kind of funny. I was in a transition period. Back in December, I get a call from Rocky and asked if I wanted to come back up here and assistant coach for a little bit and help the guys out for the kind of the remainder of the season. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, anybody that knows me I've been pushing people to check out Aberdeen, to check out Rocky's program and Zeke's program here at Northern. Is something that I've always thought was special. I knew when I was here with Rocky, his first season, I knew that he was the guy for the job. I knew that he was going to get the job done and take this program, exactly where, he saw it going, right? We had, I think our first trip was to Illinois, and we're driving and we're talking about all these things that can happen with this program. And as we go through and I knew he was the guy, and I knew that he was going to do good things. And as I stepped away back after that year, I stepped away because I wanted to, at the time, I thought that I wanted to help younger athletes. And that was very true. But I had a conversation with Rocky after I'd been here for about a month. And our conversation was like, I had stepped away because of the reasons at the time of wanting to be in athletes' lives and help them from a younger age. But what I really found was I learned how to coach. I learned how to communicate. I learned how to have all of the skills that I think a efficient and successful college wrestling coach needs to have. I didn't have it at the time. And so as I stepped away and I, traveled the country and lived in different regions and coached kids from 5 all the way up to, world team members at the senior level, like as I coached all those guys, I really found who I wanted to be as a coach and how I would try to have an impact on the wrestlers. Whether I'm an assistant, whether I'm a head coach, whether I'm a volunteer, it's all going to circle back around to doing things out of a place of gratitude with the mindset that we're trying to grow, and doing that and trying to pass that along to anybody that I'm around. Whether you're a wrestler, whether you're alumni, whether you're a donor, like it doesn't really matter to me. Like I'm gonna try to have an impact on your life that when you walk away, like you're in a little bit better of a place. And so as we circle that back around to the wrestling program, first and foremost, like one of the main things that I wanted to do when I got the position was keep Zeke around. Zeke's, kind of funny story. Some of you guys might not know. Me and Zeke are from, I don't know, like 2 hours away from each other. We grew up right down the road from each other. I spent a ton of time in his high school wrestling room working out with guys that he was right behind. So we've known each other for a long time. I know what he's capable of. I know the value that he brings to this program and to our athletes and to the university. So extremely excited to have Zeke by my side to go through this. We've been, doing a lot of stuff right now that I think is setting our foundation up to be able to have an amazing run, and again, that circles back to the nature that we're taking this program over in, and all the hard work that Rocky has done has set us up to really, dig our heels in and go recruit athletes that want to win at a high level, that want to add value to Aberdeen and this community, and go get the right guys that we think that, ultimately we're going to be able to push them through the program and send them off to real life with, a ton of tools, a ton of resources. And ultimately our goal that we're talking with our athletes about is, like, I don't just want to, at graduation day, we shake hands and then, hey, thanks for being in our program. Like, I want to meet their kids. I want to meet their wives. I want to go to their weddings. Like, I want to have long-lasting relationships with my athletes that go far beyond getting our hand raised. If we can get our hand raised along the road, that'll make me extremely happy, and that's something that we're going to work our tail off to do. But ultimately, helping young men turn into great men and great ambassadors for this university and great ambassadors for Aberdeen and everything that comes with it is something that we're striving to do. And we're really excited. I'm extremely excited. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity. And kind of just the final thing that I'll end with is Aberdeen. Aberdeen is the place. Like, that's what I talked to Nate with. I think before even all this went down, this is a place that it always called me back. It always called me back. Whether it was trying to send athletes here, to be the head coach is something that I never envisioned, just because the timeline of things with Rocky, I thought that it wouldn't be open. So when I got the chance to be an assistant, I was all in, because again, like, this is the place that I think my family can thrive. This is the place that I think I can thrive as a coach, as a person, as a person looking to make an impact on others. This is the place. So it's a special community. It's a place that you can come here and achieve everything that you want to achieve. So I appreciate the town and everybody that's made this transition so seamless. And I'm extremely excited for what we can do. So I appreciate you guys all being here, and I look forward to many years of getting after it.
We'll open it up for questions here. So I'm in the back of the room. I have a microphone. If you have a question for Nate or Josh, just raise your hand and I'll bring the microphone up to you to ask those questions. So.
Question for Coach Nolan. Obviously, now being back here in Aberdeen, being back at Northern State, obviously in your remarks there, you feel like Northern is a place that you can continue to grow and thrive and build this program. Coach Burkett really did an incredible job setting the foundation of this thing up for success. Can you just kind of talk about what Rocky means to you, just from a personal perspective and also as a great head coach?
Oh man, Rocky has been everything that I could ask in a mentor, in a friend, and somebody that is leading not just on the rest of the map, but in all walks of life. The standard that he set for this program from day one was that of excellence. It was not just, we're not just going to go out and sacrifice the humans that we are to get our hands raised. It's been about like doing all the little things right and doing everything in your power to make the most out of this opportunity, because it goes fast and you don't want to wake up one day and look back and think like, what could I have done a little bit better? So I think his perspective on growing the program from a place of insignificance for not totally, but a place that it was in a dark place. It was in a dark place, and Rocky came in and he didn't sacrifice the process to win. Right, he did it all and went through the tough times and went through the growing the program the correct way, and so yeah, he means a ton to this program. I'm super happy and fortunate that he's going to be still around, because there's going to be some times that I need to lean on him and ask him for advice and ask him for his help. So nothing but gratitude for everything that Rocky's done over his time here.
Any other questions from here in the crowd?
Kind of a follow-up there, I guess. When you were brought on in December, was that a kind of an open conversation that you had with Rocky a little bit, that, hey, maybe this could be something in the not-too-distant future, because now that he's sticking with the foundation, maybe he had that thought in the back of his mind, or is that something that kind of came up over the last couple of months, or was this kind of an opportunity for you guys to say, hey, I'm going to step down now. Now it's time to take the next step with you?
Yeah, no, it was this all happened, over the last couple of weeks, and when we found out that Rocky was stepping down, I didn't really know what was going to happen, because I was full on getting ready to stick around as an assistant, and Rocky had worked tirelessly to help me be able to do that, and so when we found out, I was like, uh-oh, like, well, what does this mean for me, and what does this mean for everybody? But yeah, it was. I think I asked Rocky like a week or two in, like, how we can make it happen so I can stay and coach with him. So that was kind of my main goal over the last couple of months, and to be here right now is kind of surreal and exciting. But yeah, it happened fast.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you all again so much for attending. Josh and Nate will be around for any media members that are here. If you'd like to talk to them, you can meet over by that wolf head that's over in the back corner here. And again, thank you so much for coming. We're looking forward to the future of Wolves wrestling here. So, go Wolves.